HIPMAT embrace its academic and professional reputation that has trained over 15,000 professionals in 10 years. Embrace HIPMAT's numerous professional programs from HND to BTech, BSc, and MBA in the schools of Business and Management Sciences, Engineering and Technology, and the School of Transport and Logistics. Embrace HIPMAT's professionalism, excellence, and consistency with solid mentorship from the University of Bamenda and the University of Boya. Embrace HIPMAT's skills, development, expertise, and career orientation via workshops and academic field trips. Be part of the HIPMAT family. Visit our Boya campus at Checkpoint Moliko and Douala campus at Carrefour Yoro, Jos, Bonamusade. Contact 683-70-1720. The Higher Institute of Business Management and Technology, the University Institute for Professionals.
Good evening, televiewers. You're welcome to Prime Hour this evening. We are going to be discussing two key topics for tonight, which has to do with the meeting between an envoy from the President of the Republic to Nigerian President with objective of fighting those who have the intention of separating either Nigeria or Cameroon. Many press organs carried that story. We're going to be looking at the implications of that meeting between Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari and Cameroon's Minister Felix Mbayu. We also are going to be looking at the population of the southwest and northwest regions. Have they resigned their fate to God, given that they have been praying ceaselessly, hoping that one day, one of these days, things will come to normalcy, but the situation is not getting any better. Can they themselves find a solution to their plight? It's not been easy, especially for mothers and fathers, children who are not going to school. Many persons are being killed in these two regions, and we all know the stories. We're discussing this with our panelists. Some of them are already here, others are on their way coming. With our consultant, Apostle Ambe, Valentine Ngwa is here. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Leo. Good evening, my co-panelists. Good evening, Cameroonians. It's always a joy to be here. We thank the Lord Jesus for giving us the privilege and the strength to be alive, hale and hearty to communicate to our people, Cameroonians. We're
also in the company of Tamfu Jones. He is the Secretary General of the Modekna Party. We're glad to have you, Tamfu. Welcome.
It's always a pleasure, Leo, to be here to see how I always say that's a good thing to be part of nation building. You know, nation building goes in many ways. You can do it in either you are going to the street, either you are proposing solutions to problems to the government in place, or you are talking on air as we are going to be doing this evening to the viewers who are out there. Will be educating them to see how we can encourage them also to join hands with us to see how they will contribute in nation building. So it's always a privilege when I am opportune to be on your platform to see how I can contribute and give my own share of the nation building.
Okay. We are also in the company of Jean-Pierre Samiju. He's a journalist consultant, intercultural consultant living out there in Germany. He is also a militant of the Cameroon Renaissance movement led by Professor Maurice Kamto. Jean-Pierre, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, everybody. Please, maybe allow me to speak in French.
Yes, go on.
Ok. Donc, déjà, bonsoir à tout le monde. Bonsoir à Prime Media. Je suis extrêmement honoré d'être motivé.
Monsieur Jean-Pierre, on a des problèmes avec le son. Je ne sais pas si vous avez touché quelque chose ou I don't know whether it's at the level of LI. Est-ce que vous pouvez essayer encore? Bonsoir et bienvenue. Il y a un problème avec le son. Eli, can you fix that? We also are in the company of Esua Kizito. He is the president of the Southwest Youth League. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Leonard, and good evening to the fellow panelists. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you for the first time on this platform. We are also awaiting the arrival into our studios of Senior Barrister Ashu Emmanuel, who should be on his way to our studio. So I'll start with you, our consultant, Apostle Ambe Valentine Ngwa. When you followed what happened between the envoy of the President of the Republic, His Excellency President Paul Biya, and Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, to what is happening, we know that they both countries are facing security crisis and secession threats on both sides, and coming out forcefully this time, carried by many official, coming out in an official statement, and also carried by many tabloid. I don't know, was this not the original position of both Nigeria and Cameroon, knowing what has happened in the past?
Well, when I saw the visit of Cameroonian minister delegate at the Ministry of External Relations,
Felix Mbayu,
meeting Buhari, from what we got from the Post newspaper, they seal a deal against anti-secessionists.
The Ghanaian Post carried the insider almost
all the TV, the newspapers, headline newspapers carried it. I have a worry because it seems to be one of those cosmetic ways in approaching this challenge again. I will say this because from analysis gathered from other crises in the world, no country has ever faced the challenge of secession and been left alone. They've always collaborated with other countries, but it did not solve the problem until practical processes were put in place. I'll begin with the case of Papua and New Guinea. Papua New Guinea is a country that almost 70% of its properties or gross domestic product came from a particular town called Bougainville. Bougainville were also marginalized and kept to the backside, and they started agitating for independence, and they started fighting and insisting that they should go out of Papua New Guinea. Australia, a very powerful country, aided Papua New Guinea by blocking the supplies of the sea against Bougainville, but all their efforts were thwarted. I'm saying this because Australia is a very powerful country, and it aided Papua New Guinea against a little town called Bougainville. They did not succeed. These are the things we have to put into serious consideration when we are addressing issues like this. When we see Cameroon, Nigeria coming together again to fight against the secessionists, to me, to the best of my understanding, Nigeria aided Cameroon first of all to arrest the first group of secessionist leaders, which are still in Unending today. It did not bring an end to the problem because ideologies cannot be solved by cosmetic means. You don't kill an ideology with a gun. You don't kill it with a cosmetic solution. You approach it tactically from a mental point of view, and peace negotiation is the only way out. The same case with Sudan and South Sudan. For many years, the person that started the revolution in South Sudan did not want secession. Salva Kiir and Riek Machar hijacked the revolution along the line and started demanding for secession. The person was Dr. Wanga, who started the revolution and insisted that they did not want secession. But some people hijacked it. No matter the efforts put by other countries in place to try to stop it, it did not go. It failed. In 1983, the Sri Lanka had the Tamil Tigers fighting against the state. That war lasted for 26 years. It ended up with a peace negotiation, despite all the lobbying left and right. America packed out of Vietnam, not because America fought alone. Neighboring countries aided America. America is still packing out right now out of Afghanistan. The reason for all this analysis is to give us the comprehensive understanding how crises have been managed across the nations of the world. If at all this union is to put an end to the crisis, to me, it's one of those cosmetic ways to handle this thing, because Nigeria has once aided Cameroon in trying to put an end to this crisis, and it did not work. The challenge I have is not even the approach. The challenge I have is, why are we shying away from what we know is the truth? What could possibly be the reason why we are want to use every means until we fail from every angle before we apply what is real? The delay is causing the damage of properties, the forceful education, the loss of lives, as well as many other things. Why don't we do what the Englishman says is teaching time saves nine? I think time is running against us. Nigeria has Nnamdi Kanu to deal with, and the Biafra, which was an ideology that came up since 1967. under Philip Effiong, who was on the south, and Odumeju Ojukwu, who was from the east. They have not killed the ideology. They killed Ojukwu, they arrested Ojukwu and arrested Effiong. The ideology did not die. Nnamdi Kanu has come. They've arrested him. Take away Nnamdi Kanu. Biafra is an ideology. Let us approach ideologies with a pen and the paper. We should not approach it with a gun. I have said and I'm still repeating it. Where guns begin to smoke is only a sign that minds have failed. Let us use the minds back to put an end to this ideology. That's my first take for today.
Okay. Tamfu Jones, I'll ask Apostle Ambe and Ngwa whether it is news that the Nigerian government and the Cameroon government are coming together. Has this not been the original position of both governments?
It has been the original position, because when we see how the Nigerian government handled the Naira 10 rather, to the Cameroon government, it shows that they were working in collaboration. And when you look critically, you realize that Mr. Buhari, who is the president of Nigeria, is somehow frustrated, given that he has the same threat of secession coming from the IPOP group, that's the Biafran, who are asking for secession from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. You see Cameroon, which is led by Mr. Biya, has the group of Ambazonians who are also vying for secession from the Republic of Cameroon. You see that two countries have something in common, and the president is unfortunate that Mr. Buhari, who came and met Mr. Biya in power, also is trying to follow the footsteps of Mr. Biya. Because Mr. Liu, we cannot talk of what is happening and we don't go back to history. We realize that, as Apostle Ambe said earlier, that the Biafran War, which took place from I think in 1967 right up to 1970, I think from July 1967 to January 1970, which took about 1 million Nigerians, the lives of 1 million Nigerians, did not stop the ideology of the Biafran. Up to today, I bet you I was in Nigeria, I think in the year 2015, where we still had the Biafran flag flying all over. They immediately remove them in the day. In the night, they come and host another one. In the afternoon, you see them again flying in the same places where they were flying and were removed by the authorities. So you realize that you can kill a particular person, a particular personality, but an ideology cannot be killed. So if Nigeria has been unable since 1970 to kill this ideology of the Biafra, and Boko Haram has come and added to it, and Cameroon thinks that in holding hands with Nigeria, they will kill the secessionists tendencies coming from the Ambazonians. I think it's a failed initiative, because this thing, as our Apostle Ambe said earlier, they need to sit on the table and talk. If not, it will not work. It will not work, because Nigeria has failed. Because I believed that if Nigeria in the 1970s, after the Biafran has surrendered, because the Biafran surrendered under Ojukwu, they surrendered in the 1970s, that the war was above them. Because I bet you in the 1970s, those Biafrans, they had machetes, they had spears and stones to fight with. But today, what is happening with the southern Cameroon, which is hijacked by the Ambazonians? They are no more fighting with the spears and cutlasses and stones. They are now carrying AK-47s. And I have said here on other platforms, that the more the government delays to solve this problem, the more dangerous it becomes. Because as time goes, these voices in the bushes are developing new tactics and new strategies to fight the government in place. So it is on our own benefit to solve this problem as soon as possible, because now this guy are already manipulating and manufacturing explosives.
No, we are talking about Nigeria.
I am talking about, it's the same thing. We're talking about Nigeria and Cameroon. I'm telling you that in the 1970s, these guys were using machetes. And today in 1970 there was no machetes.
No, we are going to come.
There was no social media.
Has anything changed in the position? It has been the same from the Biafran war, where Cameroon aided Nigeria And the relationship has been like this.
The relationship has been like this. What I want to add to this, Mr. Leo, before you take another.
So when I ask that question, why will you answer now?
And I will say because there is enough to say when it comes to this matter.
Okay.
What I'm saying is that
let him talk to now.
If you say so.
Right. Secretary General of Modena, you want democracy now.
We want democracy. That was I said. If you say so, let him talk, and then after, Rona will come back.
Okay.
That's democracy.
Okay, Mr. Esua Kizito, the Southwest Youth League president. Your first take on this outing and the position of Nigeria.
First of all, I want to thank you for having me again. I mean, this is the first time for me to sit on this platform. We've been together while you were still in Boya. I must start by commenting the brilliance and excellent decor we have here. It's so fantastic.
Thank you.
Congratulations to
Thank
management.
you.
Now, coming back to the question you asked, the accords signed between Cameroon and Nigeria, as far as this crisis is concerned, I think that, as Apostle Ambe said a while ago, it's just being cosmetic in solving the problem, because the root causes of this problem have not been addressed yet. I stand to see that we should say things the way they are, irrespective of where we belong. Now, if we are sealing this deal, if the state of Cameroon is sealing this deal with Nigeria, I begin to ask certain questions. Like, one, is Nigeria the hotspot of the ongoing crisis in Cameroon? I don't think so. It's true that the Naira 10, the arrest of our leaders was from Nigeria, who were eventually deported to Cameroon. But now, those who flame the war, those who lead, in quote, those who command the fighters on the ground as we speak, are not in Nigeria. They are in Europe, they are in America, they are in Belgium, they are in Germany, they are in Norway. So if the government of Cameroon is telling us that they are struggling they have sealed a deal with Nigeria, and they will go ahead to seal same deals with all these other countries that are hosting these separatist sponsors, in quote, then it will be a good thing. Where if they end at the level of Nigeria, then I see them being limited. Again, like I will still want to subscribe and adopt the position of Apostle Ambe, because we know what to do. I think no matter how long we fight, we should stop the play. We should stop playing with the souls of persons here. For no matter how long we fight, the eventual point is that we must sit on a table and talk. The law of nature states that nothing lasts forever. So even if we keep fighting from now till thy kingdom come, eventually this problem will come to an end someday. But the question is, must we kill ourselves before the problem is solved? Should the population of the Northwest and Southwest get extinct before this problem is solved? I think that it's time for the authorities that be. I'm begging on the head of state of this country to hit his hand firm on the table and do something for this crisis to come to an end, because signing partnership accords like this, deals like this, will not eventually solve this crisis for us. I think that the best persons the best persons who stand in the position of solving this crisis are Cameroonians themselves. We know what to do. Let the authorities do the right thing. We know what to do for this crisis to be solved. And if we are serious, we can solve this crisis in less than 6 months. Let's concentrate. Let's do what is right. Let's do what we are supposed to do. Let the powers that be take their responsibility. And let the politicians stop telling the lies in the various quarters of this country. And I think within us, this problem will be solved.
This problem will be solved. Monsieur Jean-Pierre Samedjou, est-ce que vous croyez que ce qui s'est passé au Nigeria entre le Cameroun et le président nigérien, c'est déjà un bon début, je sais pas, une victoire diplomatique camerounais pour la lutte contre ce qui se passe? On parle de la crise sécuritaire.
Déjà, j'espère. Donc, c'est pratiquement les conséquences du Nord sont des enfants de Cameroun.
Ah, c'est probablement
Alors,
ça.
au Cameroun et au Nigeria ont une histoire du Cameroun avec les Cameroun anglophones 1967 pour le Nigeria et principalement la région Biafra. Vous voyez qu'aujourd'hui, le gouvernement, comme pour moi, c'est un échec diplomatique. Pourquoi? Parce que il aurait été plus d'ouvrir un dialogue déjà avec la partie anglophone du Cameroun, le nord-ouest et le sud-ouest, et pas vraiment faire raison. Parce que il faut comprendre qu'il y a, à part
Okay, we have issues with the sound. We also have just been joined by Senior Barrister Ashu Emmanuel. Senior Barrister, what do we make out of this meeting between Minister Felix Mbayu and the Nigerian President, His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari, and so much talk about it? What is peculiar with this meeting, knowing that we have seen Nigerian foreign ministers come to Cameroon, and we've seen at the time the current Minister of Communication, Emmanuel Sadi, at the time he was Minister of Territorial Administration, he made moves already to Nigeria. We saw how they cooperated already for before the arrest of those who are in prison today in Nigeria. Why is what has happened recently making so much news in Cameroon?
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Apostle Ambe. Good evening to other fellow panelists. Good evening to my beloved televiewers. It's always a pleasure being with you. You want to know what I feel about the meeting between the special envoy of the head of state, Mr. Mbayu. Well, he wasn't there because he was Mbayu. He was sent by the head of state. And the Nigerian president. You see, normally this is not something that was supposed to make any noise, because Cameroon and Nigeria, these are brothers. Well, they are sister states, and if everything were equal, would have had better relations. There would have been better relationship between these two states. But in the current situation, Nigeria, being a sick man of Africa, wants to try to find some medication for its own ailments. And President Buhari's meeting with Mr. Mbayu was an occasion for him to bring out some of the things that were in his stomach, and well, that were enabled to educate the public a bit about Nigerian policy. You see, Nigeria is facing a lot of internal problems. You have the Igbo people who have once again come up with their Biafra Republic, and to show you that Biafra Republic is a pin in Mr. Buhari's buttocks. He had to go an extra mile to go get Mr. Namdi arrested, the head of IPOP, arrested in very funny circumstances abroad, and he is also facing the Yoruba insurgency. They declare their own state, so he doesn't want this to continue, because who will come next after the Igbos and the Yoruba? Who will come next? I know when they talk of Igbos, this is a very large population. When he's even arresting Namdi, I know that he is not being comfortable, because if the Igbo population follow up, then there will be trouble, chaos in Nigeria. So I think that they will be holding Namdi with a lot of care, because the Igbo, they try to divide the Igbo population into about 4 states, I think, into about 4 states. Yes, to show you that they don't want the Igbos to be together. They divide into about 4 states. So if the Igbos want to unite and form one state, it will be terrible, because they are heavily populated. So this is an opportunity, in my opinion, for Mr. Buhari to let the Africans know what he thinks about all those internal squabbles in Nigeria. He says clearly I cannot allow Cameroon to have a problem, because those problems can also affect me. If I don't support Cameroon against the people, the southern Cameroonians, then Igbo too, they will stand up. This other one too will stand. Others will, the Delta. See, apart from that, there's also the Delta region that has its own. In fact, they already started their own, was even before the Biafrans. And there's all the Northerners. Also the Northerners. Don't forget that Boko Haram started as an insurgency before they calmed it down to some religious thing. So Nigeria is a time bomb. It's a political time bomb. And Buhari wants to follow the footsteps of Gowon. To keep Nigeria one is a task that must be done. I think he wants to follow Gowon's footsteps, and is making his intentions to Cameroon known, so that Cameroon should know on what track to tread. A way for him to tell Cameroonians that, please, don't help any of our people who come to your place to seek a safe haven and try to destabilize us from there.
But Apostle Ambe and Ngwa, can we understand what Senior Barrister is saying? Nigeria is also faced with the same problem that Cameroon is faced with. Yes, because but Boko Haram is also in Cameroon.
We have just one insurgency.
Oh, but we have Boko Haram up north. But yes, but we are talking about secession. Yes, we are talking about secession. Nigeria and Cameroon are faced with almost a similar problem, because I remember whilst working in Boya, I followed the Nigerian Consul General for the Southwest and Northwest region. When I followed his delivery, it was very similar to what the Cameroonian ministers are saying. The way they would describe the secessionist movement in the Northwest and Southwest region is exactly what the Consul General was telling the Nigerian population of the Southwest and Northwest.
Yes, they have a similar problem. If you study back the Biafran crisis, you'll be able to understand that all these things boil down to marginalization. When the Northerners began maltreating the Igbos, who had very good shops in places like Kaduna, Kano, that was where the crisis started. Ojukwu came like a prophet and began crying, bringing the Biafrans to consciousness that they don't have a place in the north and in the west, because that's where most of them trade. Lagos is the west, Kano, Kaduna is the north. Those were the reasons why they started agitating. Because of these, they had to flow down to Ghana, where they had the Aburi Accord. In Ghana, they tried to negotiate. Ojukwu accepted almost everything that was discussed in Ghana. It is tagged the Aburi Accord. When they came back to Nigeria, he did not respect any of those terms. Now, it was a government, it was a military general that seized. It's not that they began with machetes and stones and collapsed like the Anglophone crisis. He was a military general that seized the equipments of the military barracks that were in the east. Effiong, who was from the south, also a general, seized all the military equipment. So it was a war. Now, they fought with war, exchanged weapons for almost a year plus. What brought Biafra down was not the people that were killed by the gun. It was when Britain, America, sided with Gowon and told Norway not to send protein to the east. The persons that died out of Kwashiorkor were plentier than those who died out of the gun. It was an economic embargo.
Starvation.
Yes, economic embargo that was given to the east. Now, they consulted De Gaulle. De Gaulle came to ask at least 10% of the oil in the east, which automatically Ojukwu had accepted because of the pressure on him, and started teaching French in some of their vocational institutions. What happened was that in Gabon, where they were supposed to use Cameroon and Gabon, Omar Bogo El Hajj was a Muslim, Amadou Ahidjo was a Muslim. They belonged to the Islamic League. So they refused for the God to use them to fight the Abra Gowon in Nigeria. If those people had supply of food from this place back to Nigeria, that war would have exceeded. So it was hunger that crushed them down. So you realize that Cameroon and Nigeria have a long-standing relationship. They have been working like that for many years. But I have said it and I'm still repeating it. Even though they frustrated the Biafran move of 1960-70 now, the people died, the ideology did not die. My challenge here is the ideology. Nnamdi Kanu has been arrested. Do you know how many persons he has raised? A man that produced 10,000 Eastern Security Network forces without the knowledge of his co-partner close to him. Now they are fighting in if you go, there's constant chaos in places like Onitsha, Aba, and Owerri. They block the roads from time to time. Why? The same way secessionists are operating here is the same way those guys are operating in Nigeria. And this is the reason why I'm saying that if at all an equipped government that had full-scale equipment to fight against the state was stopped through an economic embargo and the idea did not die, I don't think these people who are coming out, the idea will die. Because we have now more billionaires. Do you know, after the Biafran war, the Biafrans were giving just 2,000 naira to begin. That's why they say they are the most industrious persons in Nigeria. From there, you can have the highest businessmen in Nigeria. If they stand to put money behind that Biafra thing, we are talking a war that will not end. So we should not stop. We should stop beating around the bush. I'm saying that war can only be prolonged when they are sponsors of the war. What we have in Cameroon, the economic interest of this war is stronger than the political interest. That is the reason why if we don't attack from an economic point of view, we are going to be dancing in cycles. Someone said, and I quote, 20 children cannot stay on the same spot dancing for 20 years. They must have outgrown that environment. Let this government and that of Nigeria understand that they have been dancing on the same spot for many years. They should outgrow that particular environment. I don't see the need why we should be talking that Nigeria, Cameroon. Nigeria was used by the government to arrest the Naira 10. Has it stopped the crisis? It hasn't. Okay. It hasn't.
Now, what is going to be the implication of this affirmation? Because it's a position affirmation. It has been existing for so many years. How is this going to embolden Cameroon and it's going to weaken the secessionist movement?
It's not going to, because if the government of Nigeria that blocked the food from entering into the from reaching the Biafran warriors around Port Harcourt in the 70s to not weaken the movement, I don't think that it's by signing accords with Cameroons that will weaken the Southern Cameroons movement or the Amazonian movement. I think if Nigeria did not succeed, and Cameroon is joining hands with Nigeria, thinking that in joining hands with Nigeria, in signing alliance with Nigeria, that they will succeed to crush the Amazonian dream, it's a failure from the beginning. Instead of doing that, they should go to the table, see how they can negotiate or dialogue to see how they will bring an end to this problem. Because if it didn't work in Nigeria, it will not work in Cameroon. And Nigeria is doing the same thing year in and year out and expecting different results. Because as Apostle Ambe said earlier, that it's an ideology. You cannot kill it. You can kill the people who carry the ideology. I bet you, if you go to Bamenda and the Northwest and the Southwest today, you meet a child of 9 years old and you ask him what is the meaning of Amazonia, he will tell you. This means that after these people must have died, Ayuk Tabe, all of us here must have died, these children will still know what is called Amazonia. So, and in 50 years to come, they will still fight for, if this thing is not well catered for, as long as we continue using cosmetic solutions to this problem.
Yeah, you are the Secretary General of a national party. What are you suggesting that the government do? I
have suggested before, and I will still suggest today. No matter how long this war takes, we will end up on the table. So instead of us leaving people to lose their lives, the civil society, the civilians are losing their lives, the soldiers, the police, they are losing their lives. Why not go to the table, solve this problem for once and for all?
Yeah, but if
the solution will come from the table, because at the end of the day, war has never been won with bullets, with guns. A war always ends at a dialogue. Because we are talking about 1970s in Nigeria. It ended up that the Biafrans came and surrendered, and there was pardon accorded by the Nigerian government for the Biafrans to operate freely. Because I remember when Ojukwu died, I think it's in 2011, when the Goodluck Jonathan was president of Nigeria, he offered a state burial to Ojukwu. So what I'm saying here is this: we cannot win a war by guns. it is time that we should learn the other way around to win a war rather than killing each other, because these killings has not solved the problem. After arresting a Naira 10 from Nigeria, it has not solved the problem.
But are you also, you say a war cannot be won by guns, but both sides are using the guns. Are you also telling the other side that you cannot win the war?
When I say guns, there are no two ways of calling guns. Guns are guns. The question is, these people who felt cheated in the sharing of the national cake, because no matter where we go, I hear people say language problem, I hear people say living together. There is no problem of language, and there will never be no problem of living together, because I say it and I will say it again. In Bamenda we have Bulus, we have the Basa, we have the Douala people living there. Up to as we are speaking that the war is ongoing, they are still there and they are going nowhere. There has never been a problem of living together. The problem is a problem of eating together, sharing of the national cake. So if we want to solve this problem, both parties have to drop their gun. And for this problem to be solved, I bet you, Mr. Liu, we have peace. Before peace should come, there should be justice. Now, we need justice. Who caused the war and who has killed in the war? The people should face justice. After that, peace will come, and reconciliation will come. After reconciliation, then peace can follow. Yeah. If not, then we are running in the back.
Yeah, but justice, are you not also, are you not a Christian? Don't you also think that we should forgive? Because if we are talking about
how can we forgive with bullet flies in the air?
No,
bullets are still flying.
We should preach forgiveness.
I'm not saying that we cannot forgive. I didn't say that we should not forgive.
Let's look at
before we should forgive, there should the guns should go down.
What happened in South Africa? If we were to say, okay, justice should be in South Africa before peace, it means that many persons should have been locked up in South Africa before peace.
Maybe you don't understand my point. First of all, we should call for a ceasefire. Okay. After ceasefire, those who were the warmongers, the war economists, should be booked to jail, to justice. After that, we have reconciliation.
You know the warmongers?
People who are making money after this war. After this war, they will come to light. Either like it or not.
Okay.
You will hear their vibes and their echoes, and you will know.
Mr. Kizito, what is expected to change after this high-profile meeting between Nigeria and Cameroon?
Yeah, something little will change.
Yes.
I want to differ with Apostle Ambe a little. Something little will change, because there is that collaboration between the separatist fighters and Nigeria. There is that link. The war will not end for sure.
Yeah, most of the weapons come from Nigeria.
Most of the weapons come from Nigeria, and support. Even some of the fighters come from Nigeria. Now, it will not end, but there will be a slowdown, because if the guys start to understand that at least there is that collaboration between Cameroon and Nigeria, they'll relax and they want to reduce the activity. Coming back to the war itself proper, I want to say it because we are on the field. You know that we have been into this since 2016.
We've been there.
We faced.
The former secessionist who said that they took training in Sierra Leone.
No, we are talking about Nigeria. I'm telling you that we are on the field. I'm sure Mr. Kum Leonard can attest to that. Since 2016, we have faced the reality on the field, and I'll say it here to the authorities that be. Let them listen to me and listen very well. This war is not a political war. It's more of economic. Those who are in the bushes, right? You just said it there a while ago, and I'll support you. 90% of those who are in the bushes did not go into that forest because they have a political party. They are not in accord with the CPD or the SDF or the MROC. If you ask them, they'll tell you that because they don't have something doing. I'm telling you because I am on the field on a daily basis. So they should look at this problem more from economic standpoint than political. Now, most of our youths are, first of all, whether I like it or not, are not interested in politics. If they have something that keeps them busy, they will not have had that time to go and stay in the bushes.
Absolutely.
So I'm saying that we should look at this. The government should try as much as possible to create the necessary environment, the friendly environment for these guys to have something doing. Because immediately they have something to do, believe you or not, they'll start seeing reasons why they should leave the bushes. Because when you ask, for instance, they banned the circulation of bikes in certain parts of the southwest region, without calling names. Now, all those guys who were involved in the biking activities now don't have jobs. The next thing is that some of them are forced to side with the separatist fighters, which is of course economic standpoint of view. Now they start asking themselves question. I was doing this, earn something to feed my family. Now I don't have that opportunity. What next? So they are at times pushed to the wall. So the idea is that the problem we have, those in the bushes, with those in the bushes, is more of economic than political. So I think that if the government attacks this problem from an economic standpoint, it will be easier for us to win. Of course, no matter how long we fight, we blame. I as an individual, as a youth leader, I blame the both parties, both the separatist fighters and the state. We cannot solve this problem with the guns. When we cannot solve these problems when the guns are still smoking. The first thing I think we should do is we all, as Cameroonians, whether we are from the north, south, east, or west, we should first of all accuse ourselves, all of us, that we are guilty, and then we start asking for forgiveness. I think that would be a better platform for us to start solving this problem. Because to me, as far as I'm concerned, all of us are guilty. We should first of all accuse all of us, and then we start asking for forgiveness. That will be the pathway for this problem to be solved.
Okay. Monsieur Jean-Pierre Samedjou, représentant RMRC. Oui. Le Cameroun et le Nigeria fait bloc. Est-ce que vous avez dit que c'était pas bien? Mais à la place, si vous étiez à la place du gouvernement, que feriez-vous?
Ok, merci déjà pour la question. J'espère que le son est meilleur maintenant.
Oui, ça va. Yeah.
Ok, super. Donc, j'ai eu le moins de temps de parole. J'espère que vous me donnerez le temps de revenir sur quelques points. Alors, le premier point sur ce que vous avez évoqué sur le plateau, il était question de savoir si c'était une bonne chose pour le gouvernement camerounais et le gouvernement nigérian de se mettre ensemble pour combattre de façon militaire, de façon armée, leur propre population, à savoir la population Biafra et la population ambazonienne, si on peut le dire ainsi, du côté du Cameroun, la partie du Cameroun du nord et du sud-ouest Cameroun, le Nozo, comme on le dit. Je m'inscris totalement en faux. Je dis que ce n'est pas une bonne décision parce que depuis 2016, le gouvernement camerounais aurait pu engager et écouter la voix d'autres acteurs politiques pour engager un dialogue avec la partie anglophone du Cameroun, du nord et du sud-ouest. Il est dans la question d'un problème politique. Mes amis, those who say that is a economical conflict, economical war, I'm not think so. It's not an economical war. It's a political war because the most decisions in a country are political. The food we eat, it's political. The clothes we wear are political. Donc, je pense que tout ce que nous faisons dans un pays est politique. Et s'il y a un conflit aujourd'hui, depuis 1967, au Nigeria avec le conflit de Biafra, au Cameroun, depuis 61, avec des disparités politiques entre la partie anglophone et la partie francophone, c'est d'abord parce qu'il y a des conflits, des problèmes de compréhension politique. Il faut donc que, au niveau du Cameroun, pour répondre à la question, ce que je ferais en tant que gouvernement du Cameroun, le MRC a un projet. Et dans la prise de parole du professeur Maurice Kamto, président national et élu du MRC, au Cameroun aussi, hormis toute fraude électorale, il a été clairement dit que nous misons sur le dialogue. Il faut que la partie anglophone du Cameroun puisse dialoguer avec le gouvernement en place, et ce n'est que de là qu'on trouvera des solutions. Je vous rappelle que le gouvernement camerounais a donné un statut spécial à la partie anglophone, un statut spécial qui n'a pas arrêté la guerre. Et dans le statut spécial, on ne sait pas ce qui est intégré, on ne sait pas quels sont les constituants de ce statut spécial, mais les gens sont tués. Je veux ajouter à cela qu'une alliance aujourd'hui qui est faite avec le Nigeria, sans communiquer, sans dialoguer avec la partie anglophone, c'est tout simplement ignorer le problème de nos frères qui sont dans le nord et le sud-ouest. Donc, ce n'est pas possible, ça n'amènerait rien. Et en dernier point, je vais dire que la paix ne tombe pas du ciel. Parce que mes frères ont dit sur le plateau qu'il fallait mettre en avant la paix, baisser les armes et tout le reste devait venir plus tard. Non, ce n'est pas juste. Si on impose la paix par les armes, ça ne va durer que le temps d'un gouvernement. Monsieur Buhari, s'il impose la paix par les armes au niveau du Biafra,
il n'y aura plus de guerre au niveau du Biafra, mais les amis, les frères qui sont du côté du Biafra vont se calmer et chercher plus d'armes pour pouvoir attaquer encore le gouvernement. C'est la même chose avec la partie du nord et du sud du Cameroun.
Monsieur
dialoguer.
Monsieur Jean-Pierre, vous avez parlé des armes. Il n'est écrit nulle part que le Nigeria et le Cameroun voulaient combattre la crise sécuritaire par les armes. Ils ont dit que ils vont collaborer. Est-ce que si vous étiez président, si le MSC prenait le pouvoir, le MSC cautionnerait le fait que qu'on divise le pays?
Le programme du MSC, les propos du professeur Moïse Kamto sont clairs.
Oui.
Le professeur Moïse Kamto, le président national du MRC, a mis en avant déjà un système ouvert au fédéralisme. Ça veut dire chaque pays, chaque fédération ou bien chaque État fédéré dans le Cameroun sera à sa façon et conformément au code électoral et au conseil, disons à la constitution du pays, libre de gérer son pays. Et à ce moment, on ne pourra pas parler de sécession. Mais quand on dit aux Camerounais que le Cameroun est un et indivisible et que tous les Camerounais ne se sentent pas comme Camerounais, ne se sentent pas acceptés comme tous les Camerounais, à ce niveau, il y a des Camerounais qui ont dit qu'ils ne se sentent pas acceptés. Et c'est le cas de nos frères qui parlent anglais aujourd'hui.
Monsieur Jean-Pierre, et si vous entrez dans les négociations et quand vous dites que nous ne voulons pas de fédéralisme, qu'on veut la sécession, que feriez-vous?
À ce niveau, on ne s'arrête jamais de discuter. On va trouver des solutions. Il y a plusieurs solutions qui peuvent être mises sur pied. Oui. Déjà, il faut trouver les acteurs du côté du nord et du sud-ouest Cameroun, avec lesquels on pourra discuter. À l'époque, rappelez-vous, en 1957, 1956, c'était pas le fort de, par exemple, nos amis, nos frères du Nozo, d'entrer, de rejoindre le Cameroun pour que l'indépendance soit signée en 1961 et en 60 et en 61. Vous savez que des personnes comme le docteur qui a aidé à signer par exemple les propositions du côté du Nigeria, le Macpherson Constitution, vous aviez plein de frères anglophones qui étaient contre l'alliance avec le Cameroun francophone, mais qui après des négociations, des discussions, ont quand même accepté à s'asseoir pour que le Cameroun soit un pays avec la partie anglophone et la partie francophone comme nous avons jusqu'en 2016. Donc je crois qu'il y a toujours des possibilités lorsqu'on dialogue.
Ok, merci. Senior Vice Ashu Emmanuel, so much papers have carried this. Why this change, or will this change anything on ground? We may say so, because we know that many persons also, we are talking about most of these activists, they come to Nigeria regularly, meet with many persons and then fly back. Is this going to change in any way, or are they themselves are going to redesign their strategy in communicating with the persons that are operating on ground?
Thank you, Mr. Leo. I think when I look at the situation, I have the impression that both Cameroon and Nigeria don't seem to master what is happening on the ground. Because if you look at it carefully, you see that Nigeria is trying to follow the footsteps of Cameroon in handling of this crisis. The Cameroon government started by arresting the leaders of the Anglophone movement, Ayutabi and the others. Now it is Nigeria arresting Nnamdi Kanu. And then it looks like they are trying to say, okay, you are this side, I'm this side, let us see if we can hem them in. That's no way. They should try to remember history. Southern Cameroons and the Igbos have worked together. Southern Cameroon was part of Nigeria. The Igbos and Southern Cameroons were at the Eastern House. So how do you think you are going to, if the people, like, I mean, the pact that was signed by Abacho and Nnamdi Kanu, if the people follow, how do you think that you governments meeting over there in Abuja, you will stop the people from collaborating?
Yeah,
no
but
way.
the Igbos are also the Igbos are also one of the reasons why we decided to leave Nigeria.
Mr. Leo, let me answer. Mr. Leo, you see, somebody said here that the arms were passing through Nigeria. If the Igbos are the people through whom the arms pass, and they have a pact with Southern Cameroonians, do you think the two government meeting will stop that? No way. They cannot. And then there are other factors. Look, on the ground, these Ambe boys are now capable of manufacturing their own weapons. So how does the stopping of weapons coming in touch them? Apart from that, they seize weapons from the soldiers. So how do you think? No, truly, the impact is very little. It's very little. It doesn't serve. Look, like some other panelists said here, the better thing for these people to do. It is a political problem, not an economic one. When teachers and lawyers were going down the streets, it was not because of economics. It was clearly politics. The pursuit of this assimilationist agenda by the government pushed the people to the wall, and they had to stand up and say, no, we don't want this thing. We want our state to be revived. That is politics. It's not economics. It's politics, not economics. So now, do you think that by Nigeria and Cameroon coming together, they are going to stop that? They will stop the Igbo people who have long-standing grievances since the day of Azikiwe, who is the big Igbo man who has been put in the Nigerian government. Who? No, give us. They have their own grievances. They have been sidelined. Apart from Mojuku, they have been sidelined. So they also have political problems. I agree with you that the Igbos have never had a state. Yes, but they have political problems. And so the solution here for Nigeria is to solve those political problems, address those political issues, and stop thinking that by collaborating with Cameroon. We don't know of any training ground in Cameroon for the Igbo people. We don't know. So what is the use? I mean, if you look at the Cameroonian perspective, of what use is Cameroon to Nigeria, since we don't have any training ground for the Igbo people in Cameroon?
One never knows. Tomorrow they may fall back.
Mr. Leonard, I just want to correct an impression. I did not say the problem is an economic problem. I said it's more. Of economic to political.
He's the one who talked about.
You were not targeted.
Yeah.
Yes, I think about economic problem. The problem is political. It has never been economic, and it will never be economic. Even though we cannot refuse the fact that people have commercialized the Anglophone problem. Some are making money out of it. That's the economic aspect of it, because people kidnap and they demand for ransom. Why the officers they have illegal control posts that they extort money from the suffering population. That's the economic part of it. And some people who are in government who don't want this crisis to come to an end, who may have their ways, they are making money out of the problem. Because up till now, it is so shocking to believe that this problem has not been taken to our National Assembly, but it has been discussed in the national assemblies of other countries. Now, coming to Nigeria and Cameroon again, I will take us back to history lane, and we will talk about the Biafra, the Ibophobia that took southern Cameroons out of Nigeria back to Cameroon, because Cameroon was southern Cameroon was under the British trusteeship, managed with Nigeria, the eastern part of Nigeria, and because of Ibophobia that the southern Cameroonians felt maltreated, that they decided to have their independence by reuniting with the Republic of Cameroon. That's what brought the southern Cameroonians back to Cameroon, and back in Cameroon they are still feeling cheated by the Republic of Cameroon, and now they are asking for secession, not to join again with the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but to have their own independent country. And all what we have to offer is a bullet. No, this war cannot be won by a bullet. Let's sit on the table. Let those people who think that the country should divide come to the table and tell us why the country should divide, and let the government on their own part tell them why the country should remain one and indivisible. I think from there we shall be moving to a compromise. If not, then we are running
the government will tell you that they have done something. You can't say bullets were offered. How fair are you when
they have done something? I cannot refuse. They have opened a common law branch of they have
the Supreme Court.
They have translated the Ohada law. They have all those things they have done. It is good, but they are doing it at a time whereby the struggle has escalated to a level which has surpassed.
For 5 seconds and they hand him the floor to him. The problem I have with the government as far as this situation is concerned with regards to what he's saying is that the government has a major weakness in communication.
Okay.
That's a major problem I think the government has suffered of. Because like what he was saying concerning the lawyers and the teachers, I am a teacher, you know that. Most of the demands of the teachers have been met. I said most. Even some of the demands tabled by the lawyers have been met. But now that effective communication to go down to the masses or something, so it keeps the population in ignorance.
I'm sorry, no, we have to cut him a bit. When somebody have a headache, you don't treat the headache, and you allow it to get to the stage of malaria. You don't treat the headache when the body has been contaminated.
Let's be frank.
Please, can we calm down, please? Let's follow the order. It is Apostle Ambe we're supposed to talk. Apostle Ambe, Valentine Ngwa. It's true now. Yes, Apostle Ambe, Valentine Ngwa. What is going to change psychologically on the government bench and on the side of the separatists?
Based on the union between the two.
After the meeting, because maybe the collaboration was behind closed doors, but now it is formal and open.
Psychologically speaking, when it comes to the domain of the separatists, I think it's going to cause a rancor amongst them.
Yeah, because many are already accusing that it is because you signed with Namdi. That is what has occasioned the Nigerian government.
Yes. The divide continues, and the strength of every revolution is unity. When the people begin to divide them more into splinter groups, it weakens the effect. We saw some information on social media. They were complaining how because Abacho went and signed a collaboration with Nnamdi Kanu, it has also pushed the government to go and sign with Nigeria, and that Ayabacho is black leg and he's trying to bring down the revolution. I don't think this signing is what brought Cameroon in collaboration with Nigeria. Nigeria did not officially sign any letter with Cameroon before they arrested the Naira 10. They have been in collaboration. I think this one is just a display of showmanship. I have not seen anything serious about it, because it is not this document that the minister delegate went to Nigeria to sign that put Nigeria and Cameroon into collaboration. Remember that President Buhari sent a sealed note to President Pobia before the Naira 10 were arrested. He sent a sealed note. It's to tell the two countries. And then when President Buhari came to power, one of the first countries he visited was Cameroon. It's to tell you the ties between the two countries. What's so funny is that there was a collaboration between Cameroon and Nigeria because of religious ties. But this time around, there is a difference in religious ties, but they have similar problem. So I'm thinking that Nigerians are not in Cameroon, because if they are going to be arresting anybody, they deal with favor Cameroon the most, because the secessionists of them pass their weapons to Nigeria and they are in Nigeria. There's no Nigeria passing weapon yet to Nigeria. There's no Nigeria hiding here. So I don't see the essence of the deal. It makes no sense. To me, it makes no sense. I'm sure the papers may carry what they see externally, but I'm sure the discussion was something different from what the papers are carrying. I don't think that today that Cameroon and Nigeria are working in collaboration further against secessionists. First, secondly, Nigeria and Cameroon have had ties also to fight against Boko Haram around the Lake Chad Basin.
They still are doing so.
They are working on that. So it shouldn't be the issue of fighting Biafra, because Biafra is not in Cameroon. Let's say Ambazonia is in Nigeria, but Biafra is not in Cameroon, and Nigeria will not sign a deal that does not benefit him anything. It will be like he's helping Cameroon solve a problem. He is going through the same problem. Nigeria needs enough resources and energy right now to fight what he's facing than to help Cameroon fight what Cameroon is facing. I will not leave what is in my house to go and fight what is outside. They say a man whose house is on fire by Chinua Achebe does not go about chasing rats. So if Nigeria is coming to fight Amazonia, it's like the proverbial saying of Chinua Achebe that says that his house is on fire and he's going about chasing rats. So I don't think Amazonia should be a subject matter, because Buhari is going through a lot right now. If you shock it up, Buhari begin to collaborate with this guy in North Korea. That's the person that Buhari is beginning to link relationships with now, because almost everybody in the West has failed him. So if we are talking, so we are talking that Barry has a lot to deal with. The Yorubas also are threatening the Yoruba nation. They are threatening the Niger Delta. Then you have the IPOP. Then you have the Boko Haram in the north. The problems are too much. So I think this particular meeting with the minister delegate, I don't see I don't see anything substantial there, because what Nigeria has, they are just from fighting NSAS. Yes, which has not been solved completely. It is still brewing somewhere, and we should be very, very careful while we are handling topics like this. This discussion should have been, maybe they have gone to discuss something far from what we have been talking here.
Okay, good evening, Mr. Leo. You people are just saying like a joke. That is how it started in the northwest and southwest. So, Mr. Bogart should think, okay, thinks, Aishatu, writing from Banyu. Good evening to you, Aishatu. How are you? Hope you are doing well. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and good evening, Mr. Liu, and the panelists. I'm very happy to have talented people on board, but the topic is no event. Buhari is fooling President Paul Biya. He's planning to change the name of Nigeria to United African Republic. That is not serious. If Cameroon government is going to seal a deal with the Nigerian, that means those boys had defeated the Cameroon army, or what, in my knowledge, Cameroon has a well-trained and powerful army than Nigeria. If they had been defeated, why not go for the table of dialogue? Ignatius is writing from Abu Dhabi. Good evening to you, Ignatius. Okay, good evening, panelists. By doing this, do you agree that Nigeria is endangering the lives of her citizens in the northwest and southwest regions? I don't think so. We have people from the northwest and southwest regions living in Nigeria. Should you also attack them? Your brothers and sisters, I'm sure, are going to be attacked that way. Please. Greetings, Mr. Liu and everyone on the panel. I'm Elvis, following from Minneapolis. I do agree with Apostle Ambe when he talks of an ideology can't be defeated. Even if the government partners with all the CEMAC to fight this war, they won't still win. The separatists are not fighting to win, and they know they can't stand a conventional war. But their strategy is always going to keep crippling the government. Okay? Good evening to you. God bless you all in the studio. Secession is the withdrawal of a group from a larger entity, especially a political entity, but also from any organization, union, or military alliance who is a secessionist in here. Okay? Is it Nigeria or Cameroon? Nigeria should check the national emblems of Cameroon, that e.g. flag and the rest, if she is not supporting the secessionists. If Nigeria is to say the truth, she is not going to support the country. Clovis, writing from the United Arab Emirates. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelist Sam Pascal. I just want to say, Apostle Ambe, chop for your sabi. Even some of your historians in our universities are learning African history from you today. You are a blessing to us. Okay? Many persons are finding it difficult to receive our images. Please, if you have that problem, just go back to your TV set, do an auto research, or you reprogram your decoder. If you reprogram your decoder, you're going to receive us Esua Kizito. After this meeting, what should follow?
Well, there is one thing I've always been preaching, dialogue. And I want to reiterate that, as far as I'm concerned, dialogue is not an event. Dialogue is a process, which means that it continues. It continues. It's true they said they organize a major national dialogue, but it should not end at that level.
Okay.
Because if we think that we have organized it and it has ended, then I think we failed. It has to continue. The government has to keep talking to these guys, bring these persons on board, rally them, talk to them. I mean, that is the only way we'll get a solution to this. Because if we keep on putting the military, it's true. The military are more powerful than the guys without any fear or favor. Because someone rightly said there, which is very clear, I'll say it here until tomorrow. If it's a conventional war, I don't think this guy can face the military. But that is not the solution. The solution is let's keep talking. Let's keep talking. So I'm urging the authorities that be to calm down, to bring themselves down, and see how they can. In times of war, there is nothing wrong in having private negotiations. There is nothing wrong with that. So if there is a possibility for the government to deploy persons to go and meet these leaders out there in Europe, talk with them secretly, and when the things are ripe, we bring it out in public. Because no matter how long we fight, as I said in my initial statement, that no matter how long we fight, this war will eventually succumb to the law of nature, which says that nothing lasts forever. But should we have killed ourselves before the dialogue comes to, or before the problem is eventually solved? I think no. It's time for us to talk.
Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists. I think this meeting will soon bring back, Buhari will soon bring back some refugees back to Cameroon baptized as secessionist. Figure is writing from Bob Menda. Michaelson writing from Yaoundé says, good evening, Mr. Liu. I think this topic could be treated when President Paul Biya is back. Nobody is getting what you guys are saying if Pa is not there. So let's wait for him. No,
okay, nice one.
I'm sure they watch TV everywhere they are. Please. Now, what should follow this a meeting, high-profile meeting, like what happened out there in Abuja?
What should follow is a difficult question to answer, because I don't see the meeting first of all necessary, because what's happening in both countries, if Cameroon should go to sign an agreement or an alliance with Nigeria, is it in one way telling us that the crisis is above our Cameroon government to handle, that is going to look for another counterpart to come help her fight the crisis? So what is the government trying to tell us? Because I don't understand it. Because Nigeria itself, Mr. Buhari has problems in Nigeria that he has been unable to solve ever since he came to power. Because on coming to power, Mr. Buhari promised the Nigerians that he was going to do away with the Boko Haram. And ever since he is in power, Boko Haram has been has increased their actions. So I don't see a layman helping another layman. So if we are to solve our problem, I think it is time for the government to call us, we the Cameroonians, to sit on the table and dialogue and see how we solve our problems by our own selves. Look critically, because when they talk about Boko Haram, people just sit and talk. I have been to Nigeria, where I see how Boko Haram is being fought. What we are doing in Cameroon, I think that I should say that there's no Boko Haram in Cameroon. Following what I see, the security measure I see put by Nigeria to fight against Boko Haram.
Have you been up north?
Yes. Now.
I mean Cameroon.
Where? Oh, in Cameroon? No, I've not been on over Cameroon.
How do you judge?
I can judge because we have images. When you go to Nigeria, and you see even not in the northern part of Nigeria, you see what is being put in place because of Boko Haram. You feel the impact of Boko Haram in every part of Nigeria. Yeah. You must not go to the northern part of Nigeria before you feel the impact of Boko Haram security-wise. I'm not talking of economically wise. Security-wise, you feel the impact of Boko Haram. So in Cameroon, if the impact of Boko Haram, when we're talking about Boko Haram, Mr. Liu, I bet you there's somebody in Douala here, we're talking about Boko Haram, we're going too far. What about the northwest and southwest problem? You talk to people here in Douala, they tell you the problem exists, meaning that the problem does not exist. That means they have little or no information about what is happening just in about 200 or 300 kilometers away from them. What about the one that is happening very far over there in the north? So what I am saying is that we will end up sitting around a table. Why shouldn't we do it now? Are we waiting for all the youth in the northwest and the southwest to die before we sit on a table? Time has come for us. We have been saying that the government should call for a genuine and a sincere dialogue. Because Mr. Leo, is the Cameroon government making us to understand that peace is more expensive than war? Peace has never been more expensive than war. So war is taking all our resources, and which peace will have taken less than that and bring us back to where we were. But unfortunately, the people have preferred war than peace, and it is draining us to our knees.
Ok, Monsieur Jean-Pierre Samedjou, après cette réunion à Abuja, qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire? Qu'est-ce qui doit suivre?
Déjà, ce qui doit suivre est simple, c'est qu'il faut déjà qu'au niveau du Cameroun, que les autorités camerounaises entrent déjà en pourparlers, en communication avec nos frères des régions concernées du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest. Il est aussi important de noter ici, parce que ça a été dit avant que je ne prenne la parole, que il faut que je l'exprime en anglais pour que mes frères comprennent clairement de quoi il est question. La démarche que nos militaires du Cameroun ont engagée vis-à-vis de la partie anglophone du Cameroun n'était pas la bonne démarche. That was not the better way to solve the problem, the anglophone problem in Cameroon. They didn't have to militarize the anglophone part of Cameroon. The first step was dialogue, second step dialogue, and third step dialogue. So they started really wrong. They started by the wrong way. And that is the reason why I still say today, after this negotiation with Nigeria, the Cameroon government have first to find some people which they can change, they can make a dialogue to know how they can make people from Ambazonia, so-called, to come out and to be part of the discussion about Cameroon, how to build Cameroon together. So that is the better way. Je pense que après une décision comme celle-là du Nigeria et du Cameroun de se mettre ensemble pour protéger à la fois les intérêts souverains du Cameroun et du Nigeria, c'est un danger parce que nos frères sécessionnistes qui sont du côté du Cameroun, et je salue ici notre frère qui l'a dit sur le plateau, le seigneur Barista qui l'a dit, les frères anglophones et les frères du Biafra peuvent aussi se mettre ensemble officiellement pour travailler. Et les conséquences vont être la militarisation de la sous-région. L'Afrique centrale aura des problèmes. Alors, pour minimiser le problème, il faut déjà créer une atmosphère de dialogue entre les parties concernées, parce que les rapports entre le Nigeria et le Cameroun ne pourront pas, comme l'ont dit la majorité des personnes ici aujourd'hui, régler le problème.
Okay.
On ne peut pas... Voilà, c'est ce que je veux dire. Donc, le dialogue va d'abord se faire à l'intérieur du pays, avant de trouver des solutions à l'extérieur.
Okay.
Mais au niveau du Cameroun, on n'a pas dialogué avec les parties concernées, ce qui cause un sérieux problème.
Okay. Good evening to you, Shengale Tint White, and to you, Loza Didi, watching us from Tikome Balwe. Good evening to you, Wayo Mayor, and to you, Mark. Good evening to you, Wesley Angoni Tiku. And to all of you watching us via social media, we are moving straight to our second topic for tonight, which has to do with the population of the northwest and the southwest regions. We are asking the question whether they have resigned their faith to God. Do they only have to look up to God for a solution to their crisis? Well, when you look at what is happening today, who do you think is working, fighting for the interests of the people of the people of the southwest and northwest regions?
When we look at
what is happening on the ground,
those who are fighting for the interests of the northwest and the southwest is neither the government nor the secessionists.
Okay.
Because the secessionists, I know when I say they will not be comfortable, they have been a thorn to the post flesh. Same with the government. The persons who are fighting for the interests of people of North and Southwest, most of them people in the civil society, people like also come on air and air our minds, and then some people who are on ground, and then some NGOs also that move around to try to feed the people and then give them opportunities for shelter and the rest. If the people who are fighting this war are actually interested in the well-being of those people in North and Southwest, the first thing they were supposed to do is not to give them food. When I hear that government carry mattresses, they carry bags of rice and carry this, why should you, in a common sense, be giving somebody something you can give the person the opportunity to create the thing? When there was no war, the people did not ask for rice. They had a means to cultivate their rice. They had a means to cultivate their crops. They did not ask for mattress. They had their houses and their mattresses. They slept there. They had their hospital bills. When we start carrying drugs and carrying mattresses and carrying rice to go and give to people, we have deprived them the opportunity from making those things by themselves. We are simply doing what I keep saying on this platform, the Stalin's policy in the People's Republic of Russia. Catch a cock, pluck the hair from his body. When it becomes frustrated, anything you give the cock, it will take. You now appear as a messiah. They have ruined the lives of these people. They can no longer farm. They can no longer do their businesses. They can no longer rear cattle. They can no longer live in their own houses. They now live in the bushes. Then you gather rice now out of this frustration. You gather mattresses. You go and give to them. Let them look at you as a messiah. We don't want mattress. We don't want rice. We don't want your drugs. Give us a comfortable, a peaceful environment. We will produce those things by ourselves. We don't need bags of rice. We can create a plantation of rice. We don't need mattress.
Are you saying that the government brought suffering on the people? Is that what you're saying?
Mr. Leo, don't put words in my mouth. I'm saying that the parties in question who are engineering this war on both sides have caused the masses to enter into a position of beggars, of which if they give their peace back, they will never need anything from them. The truth is, when did peace become more expensive than war? That is a question we should be asking in this country, because it looks like war is cheaper in this country than peace. If we sit within a month, a process of peace is carried, the amount of money we will spend to broker that peace cannot be compared to the amount of money invested in this war daily. So when did peace become more expensive than war? If not because a group of greedy, egocentric, selfish people have decided to hijack this thing and they are making their billions out of it. Individuals who were not able to control budget, war has given them opportunity to control budget. People who were thieves and operated legally, the war has now given them popularity to operate their thievery publicly. So how do you expect such a war to end when somebody who used to hold gun in private to rob people has the legality right now by virtue of war to show you gun in broad daylight and collect? When men who used to kidnap illegally and were very afraid have the capacity not to come publicly and kidnap you, when people who were working as military men whose salary were 90,000 can now loot shops in the war front and be able to earn 300,000 per month, when generals who sat in Yaoundé had no kobo, now they now control war budget, you expect the war to stop? It will not stop. How do you explain that 20,000 military is fighting 2,000 boys? They're tight, a tenth of what they have. They cannot conquer them. Let this drama stop. People are suffering.
Senior barrister Ashu Emmanuel, let me take some two messages. Good evening, Mr. Liu. This is Prince Ndikum writing from Sweden. And crew, to me, the deal between Nigeria and Cameroon is a no event. We have a political problem, same as Nigeria. Rather than signing nonsense deals here and there, and the respective countries should understand that a government can never win a war against its own citizens. They should table the issues and find a lasting solution. Special greetings to my darling wife Ndikum Louisa and my mom Mary Asafo. Good evening to you, Prince, writing from Sweden. Good evening, Mr. Leo, and to all the panelists. This is Daisy, writing from Kumba. There is no way Nigeria can help Cameroon to solve the Anglophone crisis. That will be a blind man leading another blind man. The Cameroon government can solve her problem by herself if she so wishes. They have the cake and the knife. Okay. Now, we are talking about the population of the Southwest and Northwest regions. Do you have the impression that some people really have their interests at heart in this fight?
Thank you, Mr. Leo. The only person who can know who has the interest of the population at heart is the population itself. Because when you look at what is happening, you'll notice that, in all fairness, Mr. Sako was, his aid was seen in Nigeria, where he was distributing aid to the refugees, to our refugees in Nigeria. So, clearly, that is somebody who, on that occasion, has the population's interest at heart. He went there distributing aid. The government also.
Anyway,
please, do you want to tell me that the Cameroonians who are our refugees are abroad are not our people? No, they are our people. Now, here in the country, the head of state sent Mr. Tanga Njiu out with aid. Well, the people who receive that aid will clearly tell you that no, we thank head of state. Truly, they will say we thank the head of state for sending the aid. So it is only the population that can tell you who is working for their interest. Now, the other people who are abroad, who contribute huge sums during their drafts, they send money. You see on social media, people thanking them. So if you ask those people, they will tell you that those people are working in their interest. So in my opinion, it is only the people who are concerned, who know who is working for them and who is not working for them. There are places where, let's take Babenda, down Foncha Street, where people came out and said, we no longer want any checkpoint here. Who was not working in their interest? They believe that on that occasion, the people who gunned down their person was not working in their interest. So, you see, it is only the population that can tell you that this man is working for us, this one is not working for us. There are other places where we saw, I think, Bambili, at one time, the population came and said, we no longer want Amber here.
In Quen.
I think Bambili.
Yeah, but there was also in Quen. Yeah.
Quen also, you see. So now, if you go to those people, they will tell you, no, the Amber boys are not working in our interest. But if you go to others, they will say, no, the Amber boys are working in our interest. So, in my opinion, it is the people concerned who know who is working in their interest and who is not.
Okay. No, let me get to you. You live in the Southwest region. You are the president of the Southwest Youth League. We have walked the streets of Moliko, you and I, when there was real war.
Yeah,
yes, when it was difficult to even move around the streets. We did that. What is the impression that you have gathered from the people down there?
I want to be very categorical. I know I've heard a lot of persons here. The elites have abandoned their people. I know they will look at me with a lot of anger. The elites of the Southwest region, I'll shout, have abandoned their youths at the time that they need them the most. We should not beat around the bush. The youths of the Southwest, where I come from, have been left on their own. And after 5 years of suffering, it's on that foundation that the youths themselves decided to come together to create such an association which we call the Southwest Youth League there, to fight for themselves, to see how they can manage and bring back peace to their region. Most of the elites, of course, are going out. HY. So when I say going out, they are leaving the scene. So if we the youths decide to follow that trend, it means we are killing ourselves and the future. So we have been abandoned by both our elites. They are not fighting for us. Let me say they were not, because they might want to start doing that now. They were not fighting for us. And the boys in the bushes who said they were also fighting to secure us, to give us better life, to secure us better future, are now a turn to our fleshes. Because they are kidnapping us, they are killing us. A life lost is so much to the Southwest population. So it's on that foundation that we decided to come together to say no. Enough is enough. We've hit our hands on the table. We've decided to take the bull by the horn to face the challenge. And whoever stands on our way, whether it's from the separatist camp or from the government, be rest assured, the youths of the Southwest have decided to fight for themselves. And whoever stands on our way will have the youths of the Southwest region. I'm saying it on air to contend with. So this time around, I'm letting the world know that for the past 5 years, since 2016, the youths have been abandoned. They've not had a say as far as this crisis is concerned. Now that they have risen to fall no more, nobody should tamper with them. Nobody should bring politicking in their association. We have converged. We have decided to take the lead to contribute our own little quarter to restoring peace to the northwest and southwest region of this country. So the time for politicking is over. Let them keep their politics to themselves. If they have changed their mind to support us, let them come. Let's rebuild. Let's keep politics aside. Put sincerity out there. Because one of the things that my association, the Southwest Youth League, is already doing and will continue doing is the preaching of peace. We are doing our regional peace building sensitization tour, touring all the 6 divisions of the Southwest region. So we plead that any elite who is coming behind us should keep his political agenda behind and put the interests of the Southwest region ahead for us to have the peace which we used to have in our region before 2016.
Do you have the impression that the population now looks just up to God? Because he says that they were abandoned and they had to think about how to survive, and they are doing what they are doing. Is that the trend that the population is also putting in place when you call back home?
Yeah, they're looking up to God because from all indication, both parties have left them in the middle of the sea. But when you want to look critically, you realize that in as much as some have left the thing into the hands of God, some are still counting on the secessionists. Why? Ask me and I will tell you. These secessionists did not come from Mars. They did not come from a different planet. They are brothers and sisters, children, fathers of those of us who are from the Northwest. And those who are living there in the Northwest and Southwest, they know that this man is from this particular home, this man is my neighbor, this man is this. They know who is who. So if the secessionists should be part of them and they are not being exposed, it means that up till now they are indirectly or directly still working in what the population consider to be of their own interest.
Okay.
If not, they would have vomited the secessionists by now.
Okay. Do you think they are not being exposed?
They're not. How many have been exposed and how many are still in the bushes? That's the question we should be asking. The majority are still in hiding, have not been exposed. Few are the ones that have been exposed that were considered criminals. Those who carried out criminal activities were exposed, and those who did not carry out criminal activities are still there. And the population, nobody exposing them, and nobody is complaining. Because I bet you that if the Cameroon military was able to contain the Boko Haram in the north, it is because the population of the north collaborated with the men in uniform. But in the northwest, it is different. The population have not collaborated because they believe in what the secessionists are fighting for. So we cannot completely say that the population have been abandoned. Brother Esua here says that the population have been abandoned. It's his own point of view. He's coming from ground zero. I'm not from ground zero. I'm just analyzing from information I am having and what I can see and analyze.
When you say they have not been abandoned, what assistance? Because their lives been made better in any way since the war started?
They say when the road passes, development follows. That's a common saying. And if the road should pass, some people will lose their houses. So when development follows, it means that people have to cry.
So people have to die. Yeah, that's what you're saying. Okay. Why is everybody hiding today? I spoke. I was to say I should not put it in his mouth. Now he has it. Okay, Monsieur Jean-Pierre. Monsieur Jean-Pierre Samejou. Je ne sais pas. Est-ce que vous avez aussi l'impression que ce qui se passe est au profit de la population? Ou vous avez aussi l'impression?
Non, ce n'est pas au profit de la population. J'ai dit déjà merci. Let me say it in English. Thank you for Senor Barrister, who asked the question, when is peace cheaper than war? Or when, the opposite way, when is war cheaper than peace? And that is the fact in Cameroon. That is the real problem, because it's not according to money, but it's according to the power. It's according to power. Because what we right now see in Northwest and Southwest is the destabilization of autonomy. I don't really know how to spell it in English. So the government needs South and Northwest not to be autonomy. They don't need an autonomic Southern and Northwest, because people there know how to make politics. They know how to organize themselves. They are able to build the city. They know how to educate their children. But the government need to concentrate the power in Yaoundé. So that is the problem. That's the reason why I say earlier that is the political problem. It's not economical problem. It is political problem. And everything what we right now see in Northwest and Southwest Cameroon is the demonstration that we need to be part of that. Not only Anglophone people have to make meeting to discuss on our television show, on radio show. Also, French people, French speaker have to be part on that. So that is the biggest problem. That is the reason why I would say it's not benefit for the population, but it's really that destroy the republic. There is no way Cameroon since 2016, because Cameroon is the unity from Anglophone and Francophone part. And according to that, it's really difficult to say today that will be benefit for one part or for other part. It's benefit for no one. So it's not really good. We in CRM, we say the dialogue is the only way to resolve that problem. And we also have to involve people, citizens, in that problem, because that is the only way, because the population is the only who is able to find a solution, to know what's the better way to solve that problem. That is what I can say right now about your question.
Okay, this one says, good evening, Mr. Leo Prince K. I'm writing from Kumba here. I think for us, the population on ground, I tell you of a truth, we have left our entirety in the hands of Fit, for Fit to be the ultimate decider, cause all our so-called elites and leaders, those before us have all failed us woefully. So now in ground zero is survival for the fittest. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Mr. Leo, I'm Simon from Kumba. All we need is peace. How do you expect the war to end when some of the big people make money from it? Okay. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Mr. Leo. All I have to say concerning this crisis is the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon lies in the hands of the government and those in the diaspora. They all should come to a conclusion to resolve this problem. Cameroon is one and indivisible. I am Diego Peruti, writing from Tancha Kumba 3 subdivision. Thank you. Have a nice day back in the studio. Thank you too. Okay, greetings to everyone in the house. Everyone in there house. In short, God is still sitting on his judgment throne, and no one will escape his judgment when time comes. Yetu is writing from Ngwa. Shatu, I feel for you. Writing from Banyo, you were living in Ngwa, you are now in Banyo because of the crisis. Quite difficult, and that is why we are asking the question whether who is fighting for who. Good evening, Mr. Leo. That is, they have not resigned their faith to God because he is the only way out, because they have waited on the government and even on NGOs and the other side. It seems not having a solution. That's Wilfred writing away from Kumba. Apostle Ambe Valentine Ngwa, seemingly when I read, because all of us are talking from Douala, these are persons who are writing from the ground. They say they are tired. They are resigning to God because definitely there seem to be no way out. But can that population still do something to change the course of things down there?
Yes, the population has a lot to do. You see, the prolongation of this war depends on the population 50% and the state 50%. I will not blame the state completely, because the truth is the population also, they are caught in a web. Most of some people who are not fighting in the bushes have people fighting in the bushes, and they cannot sell their own. Point number one. Number two, there are persons who have decided not to go to the bushes, not because they are not hurt. Part of their members of the family have been killed in the course of the war, so they have silent grudge. It's not everybody who is angry who has carried a gun. We have the reactionary angry mob and the non-reactionary angry mob. The ones who are angry but they have not taken guns, and the ones who are angry, they have taken guns. So somebody is walking in the streets and is not carrying gun and he has not gone to the bushes, does not automatically mean that he is with you.
is happy too.
He might not be happy, but does not have the courage to carry guns in the bushes. So the whole mixture is very, very complicated, because sometimes we hear people say, why don't they tell the population, why don't they show the military where the guys are hiding? I cannot go and show where my brother is hiding, my friend is hiding, my sister is hiding, my colleague is hiding. So most of the people we see on ground, they are either in one way or another affected by the crisis. Either somebody's institution has been burned down, somebody's business has closed, someone's family has died, somebody has stopped going to school, someone's farm has been blocked from him going there. So you discover that almost everybody is somehow affected. So the population also, to a greater extent, they are helpless. Then the fear that you may react to expose them and that your entire family is annihilated is another fear. So we cannot actually tell the population that they are that bad. This thing has to do with negotiation between the two parties on ground. These people who are in the bushes and the ones who are in the neighborhood, they are living in those quarters, in those affected areas, I can tell the truth, we have seen, not heard, people whom they only thought were black legs. They were arrested, buried alive. And the military also finds out that you are in connection with these guys and you are around. So there is a fear from the Amber camp and there is a fear from the military. So the common man is caught in between the devil and the deep blue sea. The common man does not even know, keep saying that population. The populations are living with a phobia. They live under fear. They live under torment. Because examples have proven that if you are in any way connected to the Amber and the military finds out, they eliminate you. And if you are somehow connected to the military and the Amber finds out, they eliminate you. So who wants to die? Nobody wants to die. So where would masses get up? If the masses get up, the masses do not have sophisticated weapons to confront either the military or the boys. They cannot take sticks and planks and machetes to go and fight men who have AK-47, Kalashnikov. You cannot. So if you want to analyze the population, first and foremost, how many of them are there? A greater chunk of them have migrated. Others are refugees. Others have died. So where is the population that we say they will get up? So let's keep the population aside. That is not a subject matter. The issue now is these people who are in this war. Can't they find a common ground to sit and trade their interests? Because I think it is greed. If we have to bring peace, the two sides have to sacrifice something. I want a unitary state. I want an independent state. What is in between independence and unity? Let us trade something to come to this consensus. If federalism is what I am trading unity to become, or I'm trading secession to become, then let us sacrifice something from both ends to arrive in this middle point, so that the common man who is caught in the crossfire should not be the victim of the nasty war. Okay.
Good evening to you in the studio. The truth is the war sees no immediate end, because the government has decided to treat these two states equal with other 8 regions waving aside the fact that this was a state that accepted a reunion on basis of equality. Terence is writing from Mutengene, Nigeria and Cameroon coming together to fight the Northwest and Southwest, and Ipop. Could you people believe when this problem was about to start? Did Cameroonians National Assembly accept to discuss this problem at national level? Could you believe that Mr. I won't call names here. Please, I won't call any name here. Good evening to you all. My special greetings to the Southwest Youth Leader. I totally agree with what the youth leader said, that the elites of the Southwest have abandoned the youth. From what is happening on ground, the population of the Northwest and Southwest are solely trusting God for the end of the crisis. This is because the population here are the victims of the 5 years war. When you obey the military, the Amber boys will come after you, and when you help the Amber, the military will come for you. Thus the population is caught in the middle. Suleiman Ibwa is writing from Muya. Muya is in Boya. Hi Mr. Liu, 90% of little peace we have today in the sourest part of Southwest region is thanks to the government. Example, Tiko, Boya, Limbe and Kumba is more peaceful because of the government. I am John, writing from Germany. Good evening to you, John. Good evening to you in the studio. Truth. Okay. This one says, good evening, panelists. The program is interesting. I think there is a peculiarity in the secession movement in Cameroon, in that there are many leaders, unlike Biafra and South Sudan. This, to me, is one of the major setbacks in resolving this crisis. The Southwest and Northwest region have been abandoned. I love what the Southwest Youth leader through the Southwest Youth League is saying. The youths have been very silent in this crisis. As such, it is timely for the youths to have a say in the crisis, and I believe they will have a crucial role to play in restoring peace in the Northwest and Southwest regions. I am Ebaindip, writing from Boya. Good evening to you. This one is, he reads, hello sir, good evening, greetings to all my Media Prime viewers. It is hard to see that civilians win a government of a country. I'm sorry to say this, but I have to say it. The boys have already failed in the mission. Reasons because they are now arresting us, their brothers, and demanding for money, which is not good in the eyes of God. Their motto is "We dey go Boya," simple. Wherever they are in the Southwest and Northwest, they should pay a bus and go to Boya and display whatever they want to do. Good evening, Mr. Liu. The elites and the leaders are not the problem of the crisis. I'm writing from Yaoundé. My name is Robert. Senior barrister. In this case, what should the population do? They should call for a general. No, Apostle should have been best to answer this. Call for a general fasting and prayers, since they have resigned their faith to God.
Mr. Leo, let's be
mount pressure.
Mr. Leo, let's be honest and face the facts. If you look at the facts coldly, you see that ghost towns are still being respected to the letter. We see that as the war prolongs, many more people are opting for total independence as opposed to federation. And who is the person who is proposing total independence? So it is Mr. Sako and his team. So if the people are opting for total independence in their numbers, as opposed to those who are talking federation, and many, as we're even talking here, there are some people who are shouting on social media, no, don't even mention federation. You see, we should be honest. The people on the ground there, some can pretend, but you don't fool us. We know that all of you, most of you, want total independence. You are not fooling anybody. We know it. So those who are talking, excuse me, sir, Mr. You leader, when you were talking, I did not interrupt you. No, I did not interrupt you. So listen to me when I talk.
No, sir.
Wait for your turn.
That's exaggeration.
Wait for your turn. I don't know what means you have to be able to brave the military and the Amber boys. I don't know, because if any person who stands in your way, I am waiting to see how you are going to brave them, because we are in a situation of war. And for you to stand up and say any person who stands in our way.
No, he's talking to elites, not to Amber now.
He's on the ground now. He's on the ground. I mean, you should be careful with all of things you say.
No.
You may have said a target to.
No, sir. I want to take an exception to that. When you say that, for instance,
you should keep your peace.
No, sir.
When I'm
some
talking.
of us are on the ground.
Keep your peace when I'm talking.
I know exactly what I'm saying. You are not.
Keep your peace when I'm talking. You are not a moderator. Keep your peace.
When you say the ghost town is a lie,
keep your peace.
The issue of ghost town is dying down in the Southwest region.
After him,
gradually, you don't say it's still respected to the fullest.
I don't know. You should tell this. When you invite somebody here, tell him. When you are talking, nobody interrupts.
No, but I cannot sit and watch you
keep your peace. I didn't come here to listen to you.
After
keep your peace.
You're coming in.
Now, I am saying, Mr. Kum, that we should be honest to ourselves. We all see what is happening. And from what we are seeing, we should not pretend to say we don't know who these people down there. You are not the only one in the ground zero. I go there. I go to ground zero. Don't tell me as if I'm somebody who lives in Douala.
Talk to people there every day.
I go there. Even yesterday, my friend. Don't begin to fool people here.
No, I'm not fooling anybody. That's
now, look,
I take exception to that. You go there, but I live there. Those are two different things.
I don't even know where you call ground zero. It extends right to the Vuri. So if you don't mind, I am in ground zero. So just keep your peace. I said, look, my friend, if you want to say things, know them well, know your facts well, because you are in a war situation and you start telling people any man who stands in my way.
And I mean it.
It is not me. Okay.
I did not mean
I hope Mr. Kum, we should face the facts as they are. The man in ground there is helpless. He is helpless in front of this war situation, and we should all know that if there is no end to the war, there can be no peace. There can't be any peace if that war doesn't end. And the man down there can do nothing to stop the war. That war is between two people who represent states. You see, Biafra never had a state. We are talking about Southern Cameroon, which people outside there want to restore. You cannot, by calling a national dialogue, like my friend was saying here, resolve that type of crisis. It is between to say it's a political problem. Because of your agenda to completely assimilate us, we no longer want to hear anything from you. That is what those guys seem to be telling the government. So you cannot now, by organizing your own country house meeting, think that you will solve after the first one failed. You want to organize another one?
I think he's not.
No, you are not getting me, sir. I'm not with him. I say I'm with this man here who said they should organize a genuine national dialogue. I say you cannot, because that one was a country house meeting. We are talking here about people, two worrying factions.
So you think that Cameroonians should not solve the problem?
We have two worrying factions. Cameroonians can solve the problem so long as the real issue is on the table.
Okay.
We should not fool ourselves by organizing something which we know will not work.
Senior barrister is saying what I said.
If you want to
I want to clarify it. I made it very clear that they should hold a genuine dialogue, that the fighting factions should come on the table. Let the people who are fighting for separation tell the government that we are fighting for separation. The government will tell the people, why should the nation remain one and indivisible? And at the end of the day, they will come to a compromise. That's what I said. So if the barrister is not hearing me well, I said the two fighting factions should come to the table and discuss their differences.
Yeah,
and at the end of the day,
we are talking about the population. That are you saying they are also very helpless? They can't do anything.
I said it earlier that they are helpless. They find themselves in a situation where, if you sympathize with the secessionist, the military comes for you. If you sympathize with the military, because here we have seen people, because they are considered being lovers of the women who are considered being lovers or having a love affair with military with men in uniform, are targeted and considered blacklegs. That is the same thing that people are caught and killed in the name of, because we saw a young man who was killed in Bamenda. He's the one promoting or sponsoring the Ambazonia secessionist movement. So these people find themselves in between two elephants who are fighting. You sympathize with this one, you are in trouble. You sympathize with the other one, they are in trouble. When you go to those places, to the ground zero, as we say, the people there, they will tell you that to live here and live in peace and in quietness, you have to remain neutral.
Okay.
You remain in the middle, you don't support any of the parties, you stay quiet as if nothing is happening. So that's the position where these people find themselves.
Okay.
That's what I said earlier, that these people are depending on God, and they cannot expose their borders, as well as they cannot also sell their borders to the military or sell the military to their borders.
Good evening to you all in the studio. All we need is peace, and this can only be if there is reconciliation between both parties, because to end the war, the voices in the bushes need to come back home, and this can only be after they have been total genuine negotiations. Okay. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Please, I think Professor Ambe and Senior Barrister have made it clear. I think dialogue is the key solution to the problem. Marcos is writing from Douala. Good evening, Mr. Liu, and the entire panelists are great minds with a very interesting topic. I always make sure I tune in to contribute. Aiden Viev watching from Halifax, Canada. Good evening to you, Aiden. Good evening, Mr. Liu. Cameroon government has failed. King Honorin writing from Moliko, that is in Boya. Mr. Yes, you had something to say.
and I will surely stop you too.
It's okay. It's an interactive program. You have the right to intervene. I have no problem with that. I'm used to such.
Don't intervene to disturb you from talking.
I'm ready for such battle, sir. Now, the truth be told, I heard the government responsible here at a given point in time. I heard the separatist fighters. I heard the elite. But for me to come and sit here and somebody tells me that the intensity of ghost town is getting higher and higher, I will not take. You agree with me that 2018, 2019, you could not enter Boya on a Monday. 2018, you could not enter Boya on a Monday. You go to Boya and the streets are dry. You see nobody on the road. But today, Monday, you go to Boya and come back freely. Activities happen in Moliko on Mondays. Take your time, come to Boya on Monday, you will see that. So for somebody to sit on a panel and tell the world that the ghost town activities are getting worse in the southwest region, please, it's a joke.
Is that what's all about Boya?
It's a joke. It's a joke. So I mean, it's another way to contribute. Sorry, go back. I'm not even talking. It's not just about Boya. The hotspots in the southwest region, particularly if we take Fako division, we have places like My 16, we have places like My 14, we have places like Munya. I'm not saying that life has returned there to full normalcy on Mondays, but it is not the way it used to be. So to come and sit on air and tell the world that the situation of ghost town in the southwest region is getting worse, please, I will not take it. Nowhere on earth. I will stand to defend that because I live down there. I know what is happening. Yes. In as much as we say that the crisis is still there, in as much as we say that things have not come back to full normalcy, we should not exaggerate by saying that the situation is getting worse. Things are getting better. The situation, the way the Northwest was, the way the Northwest and Southwest were in 2018, 2019, and 2020 is not the same the way that the Northwest and Southwest regions are as we speak. So we should not come and lie people. We should not come with
explosions in 2016.
What happened in 2016? This crisis started in November 2016.
Were there explosions? That's what I'm asking. Because there are explosions now.
This crisis started in 2016. You cannot tell me that explosions
on which day was Munya police station blasted?
Please, that's a big lie.
Please, we are not here to win a battle. If we are here to show that we are winning a battle, then we are not even ready for the peace. Senior Barrister has made a point on Ghost Town, and I stopped him. He made his point clear to the end. He is talking now. Why don't you want him to talk now?
My problem is that
don't let him talk. Let him talk to the end.
Talk about ghost towns, limit on ghost towns. Don't say the situation is getting better, because we had men who went out on the streets with peace plans, left from peace plans to machete and guns, and now this guy are manufacturing explosives. That are exploding, the explosions everywhere. And you are saying that the thing is getting better. On which post do you see to say that the thing is getting better?
Sorry, sir, I'm not a moderator, but I'll put a question to you. They tell you the situation under which GC was written in 2016 and 2021, are they the same?
GC?
Yes or no?
People have left different places to come and write in Boya. People have left.
I'm just asking you.
People have left their places.
No. We are not here to defend positions. There are situations that have gotten not too better, but there are also aspects that have changed. If we have to talk about schools, there's no lie in the fact that formerly it was difficult for schools to go in Bamenda. Schools are going in Bamenda. In the entire Menchum, where I come from, schools are going on, and in other parts of the southwest region. So we cannot say there is no net amelioration. But please let us. It is not an issue. It's not an issue of we are talking about the population, the situation of the population. He was responding to their session on Ghost Town. After that, what should the population do now?
I think the population, particularly the youthful population, is the most affected. They should face their destiny.
Okay.
They should take their They should take their challenges. Why do you keep? No, don't help me. No, don't help me to express myself. I can perfectly express myself, sir. No, but don't say you are helping me to express myself.
Tell us by what
don't say you are helping me to express myself. I went to school.
Senior Vice, let him talk.
I went to school. I express myself everywhere I do. It's an interactive. But don't tell me you are helping me to express myself, sir. With all due respect.
Please go on.
So what I'm telling you is that the population, particularly the youthful population, 95% of those who are in the bushes are the youths. So,
have you been there with them?
That?
Have you been there?
I am on the ground.
Have you been there with them?
Yes.
Have you been in the bushes with them?
Yes, I've been there.
Okay.
Because I do my meet the people talk with my youths. So I know exactly what I'm saying. You hide in Douala and you just get fat to bring them on. I am on the ground. I know exactly what is happening. So it's a truth. I'm saying you hide in Douala and then you just get 1 or 2 facts from where God knows wherever, and you bring them on earth thinking that you have the master of the situation. Please, that's a big joke. So if the youth don't face their challenge, then they'll be left to suffer.
Okay, you people are really reading the program this evening. Monsieur Jean-Pierre Samediou, qu'est-ce que la population, d'après vous, doit faire? Est-ce qu'ils doivent se résigner à Dieu, prier ou mettre la pression ou attendre que peut-être la communauté internationale puisse intervenir? Qu'est-ce qu'il faut faire?
Merci pour la question. Permettez-moi de revenir sur 2 points parce qu'il y a eu beaucoup de problèmes là. Alors, je vais déjà revenir sur le point du barista Ashu, qui disait que l'ensemble de la population du nord et du nord-ouest et du sud-ouest veulent l'indépendance totale. Un seul barista, you said that the most population there need total independence. That is not good because you don't have a barometer to know that, to feel that, and it's not also good for my young brother, the leader, the youth leader, to say the opposite, because no one is able here to know what the population is thinking about, you know. So according to me, I know the population is the last who is able to know what you really need. Je pense que la population est la seule partie qui puisse savoir ce qu'elle veut vraiment. Donc, on ne peut pas abandonner la population, mais il faut qu'au niveau politique, on trouve des mesures. La population du Nord et du Sud-Ouest peuvent décider de prendre l'indépendance totale. Mais il faut qu'il y ait des négociations, des discussions avec l'autre partie du Cameroun. C'est pour ça qu'au niveau du MRC, il est important pour nous d'écouter les populations. It's really important for us in the CRM to discussing with people, to know what people really want. The problem is, as the youth leader said the situation is right now better. I don't think so. It's not better. The situation is, the question is, what is the normality? The normality is no war. But is it normal right now, what we see? No, it's not normal. According to that, it's nothing normal. People need to live in peace. Family and children need to go to school normally, without problem, without army, without weapon. That is the problem. That means nothing is really normal right now. And according to that, we have to look for political situation. That is what I can say according to your question. We need politician proposal to find a solution according to that.
Okay.
We have 3 aspects. The first aspect is the social medias. They are really important because you have a lot of people who are on the social media and say we need total independence, but you are not able to see those persons. You can be manipulated for those people. They have their own interests. The second one is the communicants. So television, radio. We have, as journalists, as speaker, the right to inform people and to give the good information, the real information, so that the population will be able to know, is it good for me or not? The third one is the political way, and I already speak about that. I already explain what I mean on the political situation. So we need to find together with the population a political situation. So that is my answer.
Good evening, Mr. Liu. Thanks so much for being there. I got a customer for my incubator through your program, and also for fish farming. Thanks to your program, I'm grateful. And also greetings to you, Able Apostle Ambe. You talk like the future president of Cameroon. Thanks for Mr. Liu. It's Mim Shak. Thanks for the program. What about Libya Lem? What about Nyasoso? What about my mom that was almost killed yesterday in Bamenda? Coming from Bamenda, people are going back to the Northwest and Southwest regions, but it is also risky. Thank you there. We are glad to also know that we help empower people economically. Hello, I am Ako from Kumba. The crisis has touched our entire Cameroon. I think the government and separatist fighters need to talk. No peace has ever occurred without dialogue. First and Second World War ended on the table. Why not this crisis? Okay, Mr. Henry Atem of the Coalition for Dialogue and Negotiation writes that the current generation of Cameroonians, including those in the Southwest and Northwest, have never experienced an armed conflict. The dynamics, incentives, motives, and most especially the economics of an armed conflict is something very new to our communities. The stages of an armed conflict has metamorphosed from rifles used for traditional ceremonies to hunting guns to what we have today. The government has to dialogue with armed separatist leaders to silence the guns first. Due to lack of trust between the parties, only a neutral party can mediate a ceasefire and dialogue. The population can push the government to dialogue with those holding guns. The media has a role to play in pushing the government as well. Not an easy task because no government has accepted to dialogue with armed groups without being pressured. The first move for genuine negotiations must come from the government. We should be pressuring the government. As the armed groups improve their tactics, be careful. In 2-3 years, what may become of Boya, Limbe, best practice demands us to push the government to dialogue with those having the guns. We have never experienced this before, and one would expect the divergence of opinions on what should be done. Thank you very much, Mr. Henry Atemde. Hello, Mr. Leo. Greetings to you all in the studio. The first thing we Anglophones must tell ourselves is the truth of what we really want, because at a certain point in time we can't understand if we are out for money we make for the kidnaps or the independence or reconciliation. Okay. Hello, I'm Aisa from Douala. Good evening to you all. I think the youth are the backbone to this crisis, and if they can push forward for peaceful resolutions to the problem, then there will be their future be assured. Okay, Aisa, good evening to you. Greetings to you all. It's high time we accept the reality of things in the Northwest and Southwest and look for solutions. It's been years today. Some people still sit behind the screens to say life is becoming back to normalcy. Okay. Good evening, Mr. Liu. And in Dirty South, we don't have freedom because the police arrest young boys. Okay, I'm writing from Moliko. Yeah, but it happens on both sides. Nobody should rejoice because this is happening. It happens on both sides. We want to say we have to end. We are 10 minutes past our normal time.
What I would have to say to the authorities in Yaoundé is that there is a saying that if you want to intervene in the problem of a husband and a wife who have seen themselves naked, you have to naked themselves and stand in their middle before you can solve their problem. Meaning that the youth in Boya, as the youth leader says, who have said that if anybody stand on their way, they will crush the person. They carry guns to crush people who are carrying guns. And then secondly,
no, we are out of time now.
Yes, I will be very brief. Instead of wasting my time, Mr. Liu. Secondly, I want to say that
I did not even give you time. You just took the mic and started talking.
In politics, we don't wait for time to begin. We take what I am saying is that the time has come for the government to solve this problem. Somebody wrote it in the message, and I said it earlier before the person wrote it, that the more this war continues, the more dangerous it becomes. In 2016, we do not have explosives. We do not have bombs, but today we have bombs. In the next 3 years to come, we don't know what these guys will be coming up with. So let's have the genuine dialogue, solve this problem now for our own good, because we want a better Cameroon than what we have.
Okay, thank you. There we want to thank everybody who took time to come to our studios to discuss this evening. Monsieur Jean-Pierre, merci d'être passé par nous ce soir.
Le plaisir partagé. Merci encore.
Okay.
Merci à tout le monde.
Okay, see you next.
Everybody today.
Okay, and also to you, Apostle Ambe Valentin Ngwa, thank you for coming.
It's always a privilege.
Why do many persons write that you could lead this nation? You should not be misleading people. It's a different thing to lead this nation.
I can lead this nation, Mr. Louis. It's not pride. It's very possible I can lead this nation.
Okay, thank you very much.
It is a masses.
They are calling you.
Yeah, they're the ones who are calling me. Democracy is when the people choose their leader. Dictatorship is when the leader imposes himself on the people.
Thank you very much, Senior Barrister, for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. It's always a pleasure being with you.
Okay, and to you, Mr. Kizito, we are glad to have received you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure for me to be here after the heated debate. I still say I respect my able father opposite to me, the senior barrister. I hope we just take the exchanges in good faith.
No, that's how it is. After it's ended. Thank you for coming.
It's always a pleasure, and as I said earlier, Ewane should solve this problem because they know what to do.
Okay, thank you. All of you who took time off to watch the program, many persons are saying that they're not getting our images. So you just need to reprogram your program, where your decoder, or you do a research. Wherever you are, you're going to capture us in the world. We want to thank the production team, Desmond and Eli, and to you, Noel and Bertrand, and not forgetting you, Tabi Tambe Bryant, who is supervising the work we do out here. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.